going on, Phins fans? It's your boy Dillon, and I'm back with you for today's scrimmage. It's actually over now. I live in Southern California, so it's about to be 10 o'clock. It's about to be 1 o'clock over there on the East Coast. So the scrimmage is over with. It's been wrapped up. So I'm going to go ahead and bring to you, what information I can find and what I've gathered on, today's scrimmage and the team in general. So first, I have an article from Dolphins Wire. It is Dolphins Ryan Tannehill and Mike Gesicki gaining chemistry with each other. Earlier this week, after A.J. Derby missed practice because of a foot injury, Mike Gesicki finally got his big opportunity. The Dolphins placed Gesicki on their first team offense, and coaches and fans during training camp started to take notice. Then during red zone drills this week, Gesicki and Ryan Tannehill began to gain natural chemistry with each other as the rookie caught a few touchdowns from the veteran quarterback. Gesicki told reporters earlier this week he has absorbed the knowledge Tannehill has given him. "I'm listening to everything and anything that he's telling me to do," Gesicki said. "If he told me to go to his house and walk his damn dog, I'd be there. So whatever it is, if he's coming up to me, giving me any coaching points and tips and communicating with me on how he wants me to run a specific route, I'm going to do it. He's done a phenomenal job being a mentor and kind of being patient with me and being somebody that I can lean on and talk to." That's funny. He said he would go walk his dog. Look, hey, that's great though. He is a rookie. He is, he understands he's got to work his way up the ladder. He understands that he's got to kind of keep his head down, so on and so forth. So that's good. And he's willing to learn. He's absorbing a lot. He's doing well. So I've got no complaints. Everything's great as far as that goes, and they really do seem to be building that chemistry, so I'm excited to see how that plays out. The Tannehill-Gesicki relationship began during organized team activities when Tannehill texted Gesicki at 5:15 a.m. one morning about a specific release on a route off the line of scrimmage. Then during a video released on social media, the two were seen talking about a specific route during the Dolphins offseason program. Since then, Gesicki has begun to show a bond with Tannehill inside the red zone. During Friday's practice, Gesicki caught many touchdowns as he used his 6'6" frame to catch the ball over linebackers and defensive backs. "He's young, he's learning," Tannehill said. "He's hungry to learn. He has an incredible range, and that's one thing that struck me from him so far is just his range. If you put a ball, he has a huge radius. He's got a huge catch radius. If you put a ball anywhere near him, he has the ability to either jump and get it or reach out and get it. One way or the other, he's going to get his hands on it. That's been very impressive so far." He's an impressive man, This kid he can do a lot, and he can really be that tight end that we've been missing for so long, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see him in some live action real shit. Alright, so this is an article from Bleacher Report. Early disappointments from first week of NFL training camps. So, obviously, they took 10 players, and we made the list. Yay! Devontae Parker from the Miami Dolphins. Bleacher Report seems to be hating a lot lately. They be fucking drinking that haterade, bruh. But you know what though? See, look, check it out. I got my Parker jersey on for this one. I seen this, and I seen they was about to hate on Parker. And granted, to be fair, he hasn't been doing a whole lot, spectacular shit so far in training camp. But that's alright. Just like the team overall, I actually kind of want the expectations to not be super high so that way he can exceed them and without too much trouble, right? Now, having said that, I also want him to actually live up to his potential. So I don't want I don't want him to have low expectations, exceed them easily because they are so low, and then, people give him credit where credit isn't due. I want him to get the credit that he is due, but I also want him to, live up to what, we expect of him. So, we'll see. Anyway, this is what they say. Miami Dolphins wide receiver Devontae Parker is a tease. Since the organization drafted him 14th overall in the 2015 draft, it has waited patiently for a breakout campaign. Parker has shown flashes, yet never pushes it all together. As 2018 gets underway, there's no reason to believe the upcoming season will be different. The sentiment coming from the Dolphins camp hasn't changed, though. We're going to have some bad days in there, but we're just looking to keep stacking as many good ones in a row as possible, wide receivers coach Ben Johnson said of Parker's performance, per the Miami Herald's Adam H. Beasley. He's trending in the right direction right now. We've got to keep developing him and get him going, but we're really, really excited about him. Actions are louder than words. Right now, Albert Wilson, who signed with the Dolphins in March and previously lined up almost exclusively as a slot receiver with the Kansas City Chiefs, continues to get work as an outside target. He's an outside guy, head coach Adam Gase said, per Antoine Staley of USA Today's Dolphins Wire. Kenny Stills is the vertical threat. Veteran Danny Amendola will work out of the slot. Wilson is expected to play opposite Stills. Where does that leave Parker? At best, he's a fourth receiver and trending toward a full-blown first-round bust. See, people just like to hate, man. And look, I admit, like I said, I've said this before. Parker, if he was a second-round receiver, if we would have picked him in the second round, his stats that he's accumulated over his career so far would be fine. People would not be hating on him as much if he was a second round pick. Now, okay, understood. Having said that, I get that he was a first round pick. He was the 14th overall pick. As he has been a bit of a disappointment from then. But really, if you look at the stats that he has, and obviously injuries have played a part. I mean, look at Kevin White. I loved Kevin White from West Virginia, I think is where he came out of. And he went to the Bears. And I loved Kevin White. I wanted Kevin White a little more than I wanted Devontae Parker. But I felt like Kevin White was going to be gone before we could get him. So, Parker was my push, and we got him. But look at Kevin White. I mean, he's been even more hurt and certainly even more disappointing than Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker has performed to a second-round pick level, right? So he just needs to pick it up, put it all together. He's getting stronger. He's getting, smarter, more mature. So I'm not exceptionally worried for it. And, we'll just have to see. So... all right, getting into a little bit more the insider view of today's scrimmage. Chris Perkins had to say, by the way, Phins not tackling in the scrimmage right now. Gase said there might be one or two segments today in which they tackle. Greg Likens. Andre Branch credited with a sack of Tannehill as the second-team defense forces a 3-and-out on the first-team offense. Chris Perkins, Andre Branch sack versus Tannehill. Tannehill scrambled left, but Branch got him from behind. Chris Perkins, Tannehill bootleg right. Fools defense, get gain of maybe 12 yards. Armando Salguero, new series. Tannehill runs for 14 yards. Greg Likens, second possession for the first-team offense. Tannehill runs a bootleg and scrambles for about 12 yards and a first down. Armando Salguero, Dolphins have started offense going against reserve defense. Chris Perkins, Tannehill to Amendola right, had Gesicki versus Baker lineup on left slot. Want to see that matchup more today. Let's see, here's a Joe Shad article on today's scrimmage. Miami Dolphins 2018 scrimmage, or live scrimmage updates from Hard Rock Stadium. So here are some highlights. William Hayes, hamstring. Jake Brendel, calf. Isaiah Ford, shoulder. And A.J. Derby, foot, are not practicing today. Mike Gesicki caught a touchdown bomb from Ryan Tannehill on 7-and-7 drills. Brock Osweiler was just a bit outside on a sideline pass. Jakeem Grant had a 45-yard return of the opening kickoff. Tony Lippett broke up a short pass intended for Devontae Parker. Matt Hack shanked his first punt of the scrimmage. Nice. Danny Amendola and Ryan Tannehill have had a few connections on out routes early on. Ryan Tannehill's long pass in the seam was a bit too high for Amendola, who may want that one back. Tannehill was sacked and or under serious pressure at least twice in the first two drives. Charles Harris exploded around the corner and would have had another sack of Tannehill. Harris looks fast. Mike Gesicki was involved in the blocking attempt. Jason Sanders made a 47-yard field goal. Raekwon McMillan was called for holding Albert Wilson. Charles Harris will probably be the third best defensive end on the Dolphins this season. The Dolphins have had way too many pre-snap penalties on offense today. Anthony Moten made a nice stop of Kalen Ballage in the backfield, for those of you who follow UM. Okay, there's some stuff Chris Perkins delay a game, first flag a day, but it's been troubling trend in camp on both sides of the ball. Armando Salguero, pre-snap penalty turns 3rd and 1 into 3rd and 6. Dolphins were among most penalized teams in NFL last year. Omar Kelly, Durham Smythe, and Marquise Gray are working with the first team offense right now. That's new. Armando Salguero, Ryan Tannehill finds Danny Amendola for the second time this scrimmage and the 1,367th time this training camp. Obviously, that's an exaggeration, but they do seem to be hooking up a lot, which is great. Also, yeah, they definitely got to work on those fucking penalties, man. I do think that a lot of our penalties last year was some fucking horse shit, and it's just, but either way, they definitely need to work on it. They need to cut it down, point blank, period, bottom line. Greg Likens, on 3rd and 6, Tannehill throws complete to Amendola for a first down. Chris Perkins, Tannehill to Amendola left. Appears he beat linebacker Chase Allen, but not certain. Adam Beasley, Amendola can't pull in a slightly high but very catchable ball from Tannehill that would have gone for a big gainer. Armando Salguero, Danny Amendola drops potentially the 1,368th catch from Ryan Tannehill deep down the seam. Chris Perkins, tight end Gesicki was out there with starters on offense. Chris Perkins, Tannehill throws high to Amendola near goal line, who was open over middle of field. Good throw, gets touchdown. Omar Kelly, Danny Amendola just dropped a Tannehill pass that went high in the seam that would have put Miami in the red zone. Greg Likens, Amendola heard footsteps. Tannehill with a nice pass down the seam that goes off his hands as Lippett was waiting to light him up. Greg Likens on 3rd and 9. Tannehill checks down to Balaj for a few yards. Field goal time. Omar Kelly, Kalen Balaj just gained 1 yard, setting up a 3rd and 9. Omar Kelly, Jerome Baker, and Chase Allen just stopped a 3rd down conversion on a tackle to Kalen Balaj. Adam Beasley, second Dolphins drive, better but still stalls. Sanders attempts 47 yards, good. Greg Likens, Jason Sanders makes a 47-yard field goal. Chris Perkins, Sanders field goal attempt, 47 yards, right hash, good. Chris Perkins, first team offense versus second team defense again, going other direction. Armando Salguero, Tannehill sacked. Chris Perkins, Charles Harris sack versus Tannehill. Tannehill was waiting for double move from receiver that was slow to develop. Adam Beasley, Tannehill holds the ball too long, takes a sack. Greg Likens, Tannehill gets sacked to begin the 3rd possession. First team offense versus second team defense once again. Chris Perkins, Harris blows by Gesicki for strip sack. Yikes. Greg Likens, on 3rd and 7, Charles Harris sacks Tannehill. May have been a strip sack if hitting was allowed. Strong set of downs from the defense. Armando Salguero, Charles Harris, another sack. He would have turned Ryan Tannehill into ground beef from the blind side. Good for him. Laramie Tunsil has to be better. Chris Perkins, first team defense for second team offense. Cornerbacks, that's interesting. I wonder why they're doing it like that. Anyway, cornerbacks, Tank and Howard. Greg Likens, 4th possession of the Dolphins scrimmage features the second team offense versus the first team defense. David Fales in at quarterback. I guess they wanted to get the second team guys in with the first team guys a bit today. Omar Kelly, Charles Harris with back-to-back sacks destroys the first team offense's 3rd possession. According to Chris Perk, Gesicki was the victim of the second one, which Harris would have probably forced a fumble. Adam Beasley, Tankersley gets first reps with first team defense. Chris Perkins fails running as backup quarterback for now. Chris Perkins, another flag, unsure whether delay of game or false start, and now another flag, defensive holding. Armando Salguero, Raekwon McMillan, defensive holding versus Albert Wilson, who was in the slot. Adam Beasley, holding flag called on Raekwon as Albert Wilson zooms right past him. Omar Kelly, Kiko Alonso with a tackle for loss on Kalen Balaj. Adam Beasley, Dolphins backups are getting the best of their starters on both sides so far. Chris Perkins, reverse to Wilson, flag, offsides, these flags though. Greg Likens, nice run on a draw play by Sonoris Perry, then a reverse run by Albert Wilson. Osweiler getting work with the second team. Armando Salguero, David Fales misses wide open Albert Wilson crossing the field. Joe Shedd, Charles Harris will probably be the 3rd best DN on the Miami Dolphins this season. Chris Perkins, another flag, false start, shake my head. Chris Perkins, Kiko blows up that run for maybe 1 yard loss, Kiko having nice camp. Joe Shedd, the Miami Dolphins have had many pre-snap penalties on offense in this scrimmage. This is bad news for anyone who may have to ask Adam Gase a question later in the day. Chris Perkins, another flag, another false start. Wonder if this is poor discipline or something to do with new Kilgore-Tannehill pairing. It's crazy. Chris Perkins, and no, last false start wasn't Tannehill-Kilgore. Just wondering about first team false starts, which have been common. Omar Kelly, the Dolphins offense is being killed by penalties. 3 pre-snap penalties during the early portion of the scrimmage. That's the number one thing Adam Gase wanted his team to address this camp. Greg Likens, Greg Joseph misses a 52-yard field goal wide left. Chris Perkins, Joseph, 52-yard field goal left hash wide left. Chris Perkins punt coverage. I recall Michael Thomas was big part of this unit, but perhaps Damian Williams too. Both are gone. Let's see. None of that's new. No. Omar Kelly, Minka Fitzpatrick is being worked as a gunner on special teams. That's going to be an important role. Imagine him opposite Walt Aikens. Omar Kelly, Anthony Moulton collapsed the pocket and tackles Kalen Ballage in the backfield. Ballage is getting blown up. He must be telegraphing his runs. Greg Likens, after special teams work, the third team offense is now facing off against the third team defense. Osweiler at quarterback. Chris Perkins, third team offense led by quarterback Brock Osweiler and includes wide receiver Leonte Carew. Joe Shad, Anthony Moulton made a nice stop at Kalen Ballage in the backfield for those of you who follow UM. Armando Salguero, Kalen Ballage runs -3. Anthony Moulton, the U with the TF tackle for loss. Greg Likens, Osweiler hits Rashawn Scott on a crossing route for a nice gain and first down. Chris Perkins, Osweiler, and Rashawn Scott, but D-end Woodard would have had a sack. Greg Likens, Quentin Poling remains down on the far sideline after making a tackle. Greg Likens, Poling was able to get up and walk back to the sideline. Joe Shad, Miami Dolphins scrimmage about to wrap up. In summary, Charles Harris looked good. Miami's offense still has a penalty problem. Greg Likens, we finally have a touchdown. Osweiler connects with Drew Morgan for a 1-yard score and a quick rollout to the right. Let's see. 1 second. So they're starting to get into the Gase interview, which I will be bringing you. I will give that to you at the end of this video. Gase did a press conference. No. Barry Jackson, Charles Harris, Rashawn Scott among standouts at uninspiring Dolphins scrimmage marred by penalties. Joe Shad, Adam Gase, only thing I noticed was pre-snap penalties. We have to get it cleaned up. Greg Likens, Adam Gase says the Dolphins have to clean up the numerous pre-snap penalties in today's scrimmage. Adam Beasley, first thing Gase brings up, pre-snap penalties. Armando Salguero, Adam Gase says he has the team run gassers to eliminate penalties. Does it look like it's working, he asks? No. Omar Kelly, the cadence is for us, to help us and not hurt us, Adam Gase said about the team's troublesome pre-snap penalties during the scrimmage. Joe Shad, on running gassers for pre-snap penalties, Adam Gase said, does it look like it's working? Greg Likens, Gase described Charles Harris, 2 sacks today, as a tough matchup on passing downs, says he's improved on first and second downs and has never been short on confidence. Omar Kelly, when those guys are fresh, they are a hard group to block, Gase on the Dolphins' right man rotation. Joe Shad, Ryan Tannehill is stronger than he had ever been, Adam Gase says. Omar Kelly, he's just taking in some ball, working around a little bit in the country and dropping in on a couple of people, Adam Gase said. Greg Likens, I think that was in reference to Rob Ryan, because I think he was there. It looks like he was. Greg Likens, Gase on Tannehill. He rehabbed extremely hard. He's exciting to get going and get in a real game, get the season going. Barry Jackson, Rob Ryan wearing Dolphins attire today and around all week is merely visiting, Gase said. No discussion of staff position. That would be really interesting to have Rob Ryan on the Dolphins staff. Whew. Anyway, Greg Likens, Gase says Rob Ryan has been with the Dolphins learning and observing. Joe Shad, the second-string defensive line, and Brock Osweiler impressed Adam Gase a bit today. Adam Gase said he needs his ones to improve. Omar Kelly, Brock has been around for a minute. He likes being in this offense. Not difficult for him to move the ball down the field. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay. Let's see if there's anything on Dolphins.com. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I have confidence in Gase. I think that he's going to work it out. I think he's going to figure out a way. I think he's gonna figure out a way, man. I think he's gonna figure out a way to get this down, so that way it's not so crazy. So that way we're not having so many fucking penalties and shit like that. That is obviously a bit worrisome. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see, though. You know, we'll just have to wait and see. And it seems like the fucking, I don't know. I have to admit that does concern me a little bit, but it's still super early. It was just one scrimmage. You know, we still got you know, a month of preseason. We got 4 games to go. So you know, let's get in there and let's get this cleaned up. I have faith in Coach Gase that he will do what needs to be done to figure it out. And we'll just have to wait and see. So with that, it looks like I've gotten pretty much everything covered for you guys today. There doesn't seem to really be anything else. So I'll go ahead and end it there. If there is anything substantial or significant, I will go ahead and just make another video later on. But for now, that'll be it. And at the end of this, I will definitely attach any interviews that are done today if I can find them. Hopefully I'll be able to find them. If they're uploaded to Dolphins.com or YouTube or something, I should be able to get them, or wherever. So hopefully I'll be able to bring that to you. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was insightful. Hope you guys are not overly concerned about some of the things that came out of the scrimmage today, but I admit myself that I do have some concerns. And but overall, I am super excited. I am confident in Gase and this team and this squad and the way things that have been developing. There's been a lot of positive, and you know, as a Dolphins fan, I understand that it is easy to, you know, focus on those negative things because, you know, we've seen them in the past, and because we've struggled for so long, and we've been having, you know, various issues over the past couple decades and whatever. But I encourage all you Dolphins fans to not focus on that. Focus on the good things. Hold strong, hold together, and we will have a good season. So with that, hope you enjoyed the show. You know, please hit the like button, subscribe, share it with your friends, you know, and leave comments and questions and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the interviews, and I'll see you again soon. Fins up.
You know, I'm not really sure what hiccups you're talking about, to be honest with you. But I feel like I've had a tremendous camp. You know, I'm very confident in this system. I have a ton of respect for this coaching staff, for my teammates, and I love playing football here. Playing football in Miami is a lot of fun because of the people Coach Gase has put in that building.
How would you describe your comfort level today being in, you know, this stadium as a Dolphin for the first time?
You know, it was high. You know, at this point, when you get to year 7, you know, stadiums are stadiums for the most part. You know, it's more or less about what system you're in, what teammates you're playing with, and things like that. But as far as coming into the stadium for the first time as a Dolphin, being in these surroundings, having our fans here, it was tremendous and it was a lot of fun.
Do you know Thursday if you're going to be running with the 2s or 3s?
You know, I have no clue. Kind of like I touched on earlier, at the end of the day, all you can do is worry about the things you can't control. So whether you get 1 series, 5 series, you get them with the 2s, you get them with the 3s, it's about just performing when you're out there doing your job, scoring points, and trying to win a football game.
How do you process being in the midst of a competition? How do you approach it?
You know, fortunately, I've had some experience at it, going back to high school, college, in the National Football League. And if you get caught up in the competition, I've learned that's usually when you don't do so well. But when you focus on the things that you need to improve upon, your game, and really just keeping focus on the task at hand, keeping a very narrow focus, almost tunnel vision, if you will, for that day, that moment, that drill, that's when you're going to play your best.
Yeah, we asked coaches about you. The first thing they say is he's like the king of the pre-snap. Where does that come from?
Pre-snap. You know, I think it really just boils down to a lot of hours of studying, and that's how I was raised in the National Football League, if you will. You know, spending my first 4 years in Denver, being around Peyton Manning, being around Coach Gase. You know, there's a lot of things in this system that, you know, requires the quarterback's attention pre-snap in the huddle. And the only way you're going to have success is if you spend countless hours studying it until you know it like the back of your hand. And fortunately now I'm going into year 7. I've been in this system now for a while, and so I feel very comfortable with it.
A couple of times you got to Ryan, pretty productive scrimmage from your vantage point.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's great to get a good. It's really great to get into the stadium. You know what I mean? Get a feel for the stadium, get a feel for the grass. Grass way different from last year, a lot better from last year. But it's just great to get back up under these lights, up under this heat, and around the fans for real.
Did they give you credit for that first one?
I really don't know. I mean, when we go into we have a meeting on Monday, we'll know everything, but I really don't know.
Why do you feel like you're playing so well right now?
You said what?
Why do you feel like you're performing so well right now?
Because I'm just playing with peacefully. You know what I mean? I'm just thanking God for my opportunity to be out here, and I'm loving the game. You know what I mean? I felt like last year I just tried to work. You know what I mean? I tried to work, tried to check off every single day I came in. I did a checklist. That's all it was. But nowadays, I really love the game, and I got that love back. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the biggest thing. And through that love, I want to be out here. And the rest of last year, I'm like, let's get this thing over with. But yeah, now it's like I love it now. So I got my love back for the game.
You talked about working on several moves that you can have them in your arsenal. What moves have felt good today and felt good recently in practice?
Shoot, that's really just for me to keep to myself. But I mean, it's just a lot of stuff. You know, of course, the in and out with the swipe, stab chop, all that kind of stuff. But you know, I'm perfecting it all. You know, what I mean, it's not. You know, I just need 2 or 3 moves. I don't need a whole bunch of them. I feel like that's my problem last year. I can do everything in a book, but I don't need everything in a book. You know what I mean? You gotta be precise with it. So.
How is the Charles Harris that stands here with us today different than the guy from the scrimmage 1 year ago?
A year ago, you know, Charles Harris was just kind of stressed out, kind of just, you know, in a dark place. But like I said, now it's just, I just love being out here. I love being with the people. Just love having a logo on me and everything like that. I love my teammates and everything like that. So the love of my teammates, that's really why I want to be out here too. I love playing for my brothers, and I feel like we really are, you know, getting closer and closer together. And that's shouts out to the coaches, Coach Kasurk, and everybody else that's forced us to be together. So it's all love now.
Cam Wake said that you had the best off season of any player on the team. What did you think when you heard that?
So you just told me that, but I mean that's big praises from Big Bro. But you know, it's not another thing it's kind of one of the things that go in one ear out the other. You know what I mean? It's just you gotta show up every day. You know, every single day you wake up. You know, every time you see that sun, it's a new opportunity. So you know what I mean? Get better at your craft to be productive. You know what I mean? To really be productive. So it's called to be productive, and that's what I gotta do every single day. So all the work that I put in doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's about what I'm doing in the present. The present is most important. The time is now.
Coach Gase said that he believes that you figured out a way to get more pressures on first and second down. Can you tell me about how that has happened?
Yeah, I mean, Coach K just really simplified the run game for me. He simplified, you know, play action and reads and all that kind of stuff. And really just go. But I mean, in my mind, I just be telling myself, just go, go, go. And no matter what I see, just trust myself, whatever I see. If I see down block, you know, close. If I see, you know, run at me, then, you know, extend my arms. If I feel like he's letting off a little bit, then, you know, get to a rip. Yeah, I mean, Coach K just simplified everything and just told me just to go, go. So that's the best thing.
A lot different from the last time you were on this field.
Yeah, last time I was on this field, man, I could barely walk straight. So, man, glad to be out here. Glad to be out here with my new team, and glad to be able to finally contribute.
What did you guys see today from the scrimmage defensively?
Man, we saw a lot of schemed up plays from the offense. You know, they gave us a lot of draw plays on long distance down, so it was kind of hard in the run game. So, I mean, we just got to pick up from where we left off today. We had a lot of false starts we got to clean up. A lot of little small things that we got to clean up before we get down to September.
What was the biggest takeaway for you personally coming out of the scrimmage?
Man, I'm just glad to be back. You know, I mean, it's a year ago from today, man. I was named the starter. I was doing all this, doing all that. Had a big head, but then I was humbled. You know, a week later, and I'm just fortunate enough to be back in the same position and have a role in this defense.
How did it feel when you got here this morning?
I felt good. You know, Still got camp legs, still got a lot going on, still sore. But we felt good as a team. Like I said, we got a lot of things to clean up. But as a team, I think we're rolling in the right direction.
But were you thinking back to what happened a year ago when you arrived here?
No, not at all. I wasn't thinking about what happened. I don't usually think about the injury anymore. I just thank God for bringing me back where I am today.
You look very mobile. You look like you're enjoying running around out there. Does it feel good? Is it significant to you to be doing that again?
I mean, I've been doing it for a few weeks now, and even in the spring, so it's not significant, but it does feel good to be out and back on the grass again, back in Hard Rock Stadium for the first time in a long time. So, I don't think our performance on offense was up to our standard and what we want it to be, but as far as coming out here and for the first time in a long time and get back on the grass and back to doing what we do, that it felt good.
How's your speed feel right now? Do you feel fast?
Yeah, I feel like I did, before everything happened, so I feel good.
You on that bootleg, it looked like you had Marquise, but you said no go block. The thought process there, and it seems like pretty high level of confidence in your knee with that.
Yeah, I came around the corner and nobody was there. Marquise was a little bit behind me. Saw the safety coming down. I said, hey, if we can get that one block, then we're going to be able to get even more yards. So, split-second decision, and I thought it was a good play.
How important is it to you that stays in the offense? Those bootlegs, those movement plays for you.
Well, it's big. I like having that as a part of our game. I think it matches up well with our outside run, zone run plays that are going to be a foundation for this offense. So you kind of have to have those in order to counteract the outside zone, which is going to be big for us.
Right. You seem to be as athletic with the brace. Does it limit you at all in any way when you're scrambling?
I wouldn't say it limits me. It's like a bit cumbersome, but it doesn't limit me from doing anything. I ran in the off season with it, did all the drills with it and everything. So you get used to it, and it becomes like second nature.
Ryan, have you thought about a slide approach? Because I watched the review, and now you can slide forward and they can't touch you.
Yeah.
Will that alter your decision in any way, how you slide or how you work on that?
I think there'll be more head-first slides just as the nature of what it is, being able to just keep your speed going forward and dive forward. We'll work on that. We'll work on, right leg down slides as well as, head-first slides, as we get into the season.
Ryan, I'm sorry if you've been asked this. I can't hear that well. The pre-snap penalties, that was something Adam Gase mentioned. When that happens, what are the causes of that and how do you fix it?
It's discipline. It's discipline. Every man has to take it upon himself to listen to the snap count in the huddle, have the discipline at the line of scrimmage to sit in there when you got a speed rusher coming around the edge, to be able to not anticipate the snap too much and stay on side. So it's an individual thing where every man has to take it upon themselves to stay on sides and do the little things right. And so that's what we're working on throughout this training camp. We're running every day after practice, trying to get it fixed. So we're doing everything we can. We're making a big emphasis, and it's going to get fixed.
Ryan, have they talked to you at all about how you'll be used on Thursday and any butterflies leading back up to that first appearance?
We haven't even talked about it, but I am excited to get back out there and play some real football. As the spring's gone on, as training camp's gone on, every step is feeling really good as far as getting prepared for the season. So that's just the next step as we go to get hit for the first time. Hopefully not get hit for the first time, but at least have the chance of getting hit for the first time.
Ryan, what do you feel causes these lapses of focus that lead to the pre-snap penalties?
There's a lot going on. It's football. It's a multifaceted game. You have long play calls. You have a lot of responsibilities, adjustments that are made at the line of scrimmage. Every individual man is thinking of his technique, what it's going to be, what the defender's technique is going to be. There's a lot going on. So it's not an easy thing to do, but it needs to get fixed.
I'm sure you're kind of a tough grader. How do you feel like the offense is doing at this point, or do you feel like you guys are where you need to be?
I didn't feel today was up to our standard. I feel like this week we've had really good practices, excluding today, that we're pressing forward and continuing to get better each and every day. I don't feel like today we came out and executed to our level of expectation. So, I wouldn't say we take a step backwards, but we definitely didn't take a step forwards today, and so we're going to have to really hit it when we get back on the field next week.
You and Mike Gesicki seem to be really hitting it off as far as chemistry goes. Do you feel like this is the first time that you really had this connection with the tight end since the days of Charles Clay?
I don't know. Mike's come on and he's done a good job for us. He's hungry. He's young. He wants to be good. He wants to do the things the right way. He listens. and he's really athletic, and I think that helps him a lot. You know, he's a playmaker. You saw yesterday there was a play in the end zone there, and 7-on-7 today down the field. So he has a lot of athletic ability. He's really explosive, long arms, long catch radius, and he's going to make a lot of plays for us.
You talked a lot about the work you did with the receivers in the offseason, some voluntary stuff. Have you done extra work with Mike since he's a rookie and there's a little more catching up to do than, say, Amendola?
Yeah, I think there's a lot more conversation with Mike as opposed to some of the older guys who've played a lot more football. You know, just getting the nuances of how I want to see things, and you know, he's hungry to learn, so he's all ears in those situations and really applying it. And that's the big key is being able to take those conversations that we have and then apply them the next day or whatever the case may be a few days later. So that's where you're seeing the big steps come from.
You've been holding them after practice, or what have you been doing in the last week or so to help Mike speed things up?
Yeah, we've had some throwing sessions after practice, short throwing sessions after practice, just working on the little quick timing things that are big, especially down in the red zone where the windows are tight and the ball has to come up early. So once you're on the same page down there, you're going to see big dividends.
Ryan, he said he'd walk your dog. If you asked him, would you ask him to do something like that?
Well, I don't know about my dog, but my lawn probably needs mowed, so we'll see if we can take care of that this off day.
Scrimmage, either good or bad.
I'm not sure if I can really get it. The only thing I noticed was the pre-snap penalties, which is, you know, you just got to get that cleaned up. The delay game, I got to figure out what really happened there. I don't know if we were a little slow, either me calling it or relaying it in, or whatever happened there. So we didn't change personnel. That was odd. And then, you know, we got to do a better job. I know it was second group going against the ones, and they're trying to get a little bit of a jump. You know Sam going against Robert Quinn. That's always a fun matchup for him. So, you know, we got to do a better job of not losing 5 yards on a no play.
When you have pre-snap penalty with the first team anyway, could that be a Kilgore-Tannehill new relationship thing in any way?
No, because it hasn't been those two guys. It's usually a lot of times, you know, we're getting a little anxious on the edges. You know, that's really where we've had any kind of issues. The ones really haven't been an issue for us. You know, outside that delay game we had.
What did you want to get out today, and what did you get out today?
I think really for us, it's just getting ready for Thursday. You know, going through the pregame warm-up, getting in the stadium, and just all those little things. You don't want that to be the first time. The headsets, just everybody, the communication. You know, it's a little different because you're not going back to the bench and then going back out for another series, so it's kind of going a little quicker, but there's a lot of things that we can carry over to Thursday.
Would you say the Gasper's approach is working, not working?
Did it look like it was working?
What more can you do?
I don't know. We're just going to have to fix it. We just have to focus and understand the cadence is for us on offense to help us, you know, not to hurt us. So we just got to hang in there, and we just got to do a better job being consistent with it.
What did you notice about Charles Harris today?
Well, he's a tough matchup. I mean, especially when on pass downs. I think the thing that he's improved on, especially from last year to this year, and then through training camp, is his transition to a pass rush when it, you know, it's first and second down. That's really kind of where rookies across the league will struggle always. You'll see that their pass disruption numbers aren't as good on first and second down because they're always thinking run, and then they have to transition to the pass rush. So I think he's really improved in that area. And then you can see he causes disruption, you know, especially if he gets a matchup where it's a tight end tackle trying to work with him, and it's really tough if he wins off the ball.
I know it's only a scrimmage, but how big could it be for his confidence to get the quarterback where he did today?
I don't think he had any confidence issues to begin with, so, I mean, he's doing the same thing he always has done since he's been here.
Adam, did you guys have any tackling to the ground segments today, period?
Were you there?
Well, yeah. I mean, but I noticed a couple of guys.
I want to say something, but I won't. All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, we did, yes. We did with the twos and the threes. That last period we did. We went to the ground.
Adam, does Branch look a little different to you now that he's healthy this year? Has he regained maybe what he was missing with the knee issue?
I think for him, he tried all season to fight through that, and he gave us everything he had. You know, I mean, his numbers he has one last sack. I think really where he struggled last year was he made a lot of plays that were away from him down the field for, with extra effort. And last year I think it was hard for him to get that burst that he always, he showed the year before. I think now that he's healthy, we see it in practice every day. With there's 8 guys rotating in there with that first group. When those guys are fresh, it doesn't matter who's out there, they're tough to block.
We didn't see a lot out of Brian, obviously, but a couple of moments stood out. The one was the bootleg. Seemed like he's pretty good moving there.
Yeah, I mean, ever since he's come back, and I mean, from spring to now, he rehabbed extremely hard. He's probably stronger than he's ever been. You spend that much time in the training room, in the weight room, that's going to happen. And I know he's excited to get going and get in a real game, and just kind of get the season rolling.
Adam, I know it's early, you haven't looked at the film or anything, but off the top of your head, are there any guys who might have been under the radar who you're saying to yourself, maybe I ought to take another look at this guy next week?
Oh, that's hard for me to say. After we get done watching this, then we'll have a better idea, and if we have to shuffle things around, and whether it be on offense or defense, even special teams, Riz might see a couple things that maybe gives a guy a boost and give him a little more playing time in that Tampa game.
What's Rob Ryan doing with you guys?
He's just really kind of just taking in some ball. I know he's, moving, working around probably a little bit of the country and dropping into some places where he knows people. And, that's what, coaches, when you're not with the team, you try to go to a couple places, it's learning. You're just trying to, keep that, the knowledge expanding and learning different things. And so when the next one comes around, you're ready to go, and your mind's still on football.
Are you guys consider bringing him on staff?
Oh yeah, he hasn't asked me, or I haven't asked him. So he's just here visiting Joe, and a lot of us know him.
What is the most impressive thing you saw today in this scrimmage?
I think it was good to see, in that second group, they made it tough on the ends, made it tough on the outside guys. I think they always do, because really we got them with the twos, but really they're ones. I think Brock just, you can see he's been around for a minute. He likes being in this offense. It didn't seem real difficult for him to move the ball down the field. That was good. So I think Brandon Ratcliffe did a good job as well. Had some good catches, had some good runs. We just got to, we need kind of our ones and those guys that are really kind of locked in already. We need those guys to keep improving. That's going to be the biggest thing for us.
And what was the most horrible vomiting incident?
Pick one of the pre-snap penalties. They all can go in the same area.
You guys just had the autographs right in about 2 minutes.
You guys done with me?
Thank you.